Welcome back to Nothing But Football, ladies and gentlemen at home. I hope you guys are doing well. We're, of course, here at the Three Lanterns pub. If you guys are in Leicester Square or near Piccadilly Circus or near Oxford Circus or just in central London and would like to go
just
watch
come
the
here,
football
guys.
before,
Just come here, please.
Please come here. It's a fantastic place. And, of course, they've let me shoot here for years now. Really do appreciate the guys here. I really do appreciate the guys here as well. Ben Bowman, Henry Hill. Henry, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm okay, thank you. I've really enjoyed Real Madrid's
capitulation
and losing to Albacete, which is, never beaten Real Madrid in their history. Great scenes. I love the idea that Arbeloa might somehow be able to control the beast, which is
Mbappe
and Vinicius.
He wants to gegenpress, apparently.
Yeah, good
luck
luck
with that.
Also thinks, news out sometimes, like rumours and stuff generally, which considering this video is going to be interesting, but rumours generally are just never to be trusted. But Spanish paper rumours are never to be trusted. Yeah. My God, I always think that. Ben, how are you doing? How's things?
Good, thanks, mate. Yeah, good. You're right. I can't ever. This Real Madrid stuff is so boring. I can't take any of it seriously because it's like you don't know
what the truth is.
Yeah. Have you calmed down after your difficult week on social media? So
what about Conor Gallagher?
You've been very emotional this week.
What about the ex-Chelsea captain signing for Spurs?
Yeah.
Oh mate, I'm buzzing.
Captain?
He literally was the captain, wasn't he?
Not the captain. I mean, he's worn the captain's armband.
He captained you for the whole season under Poch, didn't he?
Yeah, but wasn't it Reece James was actually the captain, but
Reece James was out with one of his many injuries. Conor Gallagher was the former Chelsea captain that they put a tifo that tried to keep him staying. Now he's at Spurs, and that's
every club would love the ability to go out and sign a £35 million England international, now Simeone coded. And I can't play through the lines. It can't operate on a triple pivot.
I'm sure we'll come
on. No, what's this going to mean?
Let's hold it,
What's it going to mean for Bentancur? Honestly, Spurs fans, you finished 17th last year. You limped over the line in the Europa League, which you really should have won because you played Bodo Glimt in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And you're currently 14th, and you go, Conor Gallagher. Why are we buying him? Honestly, the most ungrateful bunch of little munchkins I've ever seen in my life.
I'm holding back.
Save it for in a bit. As you guys can see by the title of this video, we are talking about transfers, transfer rumours specifically. But of course, we'll mention a few deals that have been done. I mean, we mentioned it, I think, in early December about we don't know what this January transfer window is going to be like. And it feels like it's going to be a bit of a dud. Not too much is happening. Rumours aren't flying about.
Jack Harrison to Fiorentina. Now there's a fun move.
It is a fun move. Maybe it's the January of fun moves. But yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be breaking the bank. It doesn't look like anybody's been doing some crazy transfers, apart from maybe Tottenham Hotspur. But yeah, we're going to talk about a few rumours, whether we like them, what we rank them, maybe out of 10, whether we think they're realistic, whether we think they are feasible, whether we think the fee is right, all that kind of stuff, and look at them. And so without further ado, let's jump straight into the Premier League rumour mill and talk. We'll get to Spurs because there's a few for Spurs.
Yeah.
I want to talk about kicking things off Manchester City because they do look like they're going to be busy. They've confirmed already, obviously. He's got one goal. Well, he's got 2 goals. Should have probably got a third as well for the game against Newcastle.
Game's absolutely gone.
Yeah, they confirmed Antoine Semenyo started life at City, unsurprisingly. Pretty good. I think actually he looks even better in that City side than I'd ever imagined as well. Just slotted in fantastically. Another absolute fantastic goal threat from them on either flank. But yeah, Semenyo done. Looks like they're also pushing hard for Mark Gehi, which we'll get onto, and also Elliot Anderson is a bit of a rumour out there. Let's talk about probably the more feasible rumour. I feel like the Anderson one this January is a little less so. But let's talk about Mark Gehi then. We've mentioned him a few times. I think we've brought up the fact that right now in January, he can actually talk to clubs outside of the Premier League about signing a deal or a brand new deal in the summer for them. Bayern Munich pushing hard for his services. We've heard about Real Madrid. We've heard about Barcelona. Those are the big ones. Of course, Liverpool are interested and Manchester City this January. The fee is supposedly upwards of £35 million for a man with 6 months left on his contract. Of course, you then have to convince him to come as well and essentially not get the signing on fee that he might be getting in the summer if he doesn't leave this January. What do we make of the move, Henry? Is it something which, look, City are trying to strengthen, aren't they? They really are for the rest of the season.
they've had a lot of injuries in defence, so you can see why they're doing it from that perspective. But surely Mark Gehi would see that in like slight short-termism in that if Gvardiol's back, and I know Pep's always been quite funny with his centre halves. I know that one year Laporte will be the best centre back in the world, and then he'll be dropped, and then Ake will be in, and so I know it's Stones, whatever. Like, I mean, let's be honest, Stones is probably on his last legs.
Yeah,
at
he'll
City.
be gone in the summer.
But I just Ruben Diaz and Gvardiol as a pairing is, in my opinion, elite. And the idea that look, fair enough, you can have 3 elite centre backs, it's not a problem, but. I just would like to see Gehi.
Gvardiol's out for the rest of the season, isn't he?
Yeah,
pretty much.
I just would like to see Gehi go somewhere.
Well, he's appreciated.
Somewhere else. I just really... The fact that City can just chuck this much money at this situation and fix it is a bit like, oh, fair enough. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, they'll probably figure out a way of getting Mark Gehi a load of money as well. So, with Bayern Munich available...
If you were Mark Gehi right now, you're in his shoes.
I'd go to Real Madrid. I'd wait till the summer and go to Real Madrid.
Real Madrid would have been.
So 100% think he gets in there.
And he starts there.
Probably.
You know, obviously they've got Dean Hoyson on the left side. You think he becomes the right centre back? Dean
Maybe.
Hoyson's not necessarily been amazing actually this season.
He's not. Mark Gehi is one of the best centre backs in the world right now. He starts for England, the 3rd best ranked international team in the world. I don't care what people say. Like, you can say, oh, you're just English bias. Mark Gehi is an unbelievably good centre half. I think Liverpool makes more sense in many ways. Aging Van Dijk, Konate, refusing to sign a new deal. Who does he think he's going? Where does he think he's going? You know,
He's been better recently, to be fair.
He has been better,
There were
but
those rumours to Real Madrid as well for himself.
I just think, look, challenge is fine, but I don't know.
But if he goes to Man City, like, do you think he'll play enough in order to feel accomplished with himself? I mean, this season he'd go to Man City and win a Premier League, possibly.
Yeah.
You know, if you know Arsenal
Great,
just
well
aren't touched just yet. I mean, it's a great offer. Like, he could join Liverpool maybe in the summer more so, and possibly be fighting for it next season. Of course, that's not too bad. Maybe as well, I wonder for these guys if. For himself, he wants to leave the country. That's always an interesting part of it as well.
His 6-month deal left on his contract really doesn't matter if you've got all these guys going in for him. Like Liverpool, at the end of the day, £35 million for Mark Gehi as an isolated sentence.
Yes,
is a great deal.
Yes,
You're not going to get a better market opportunity than might be one of the best market opportunity signings in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah, and
for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him actually stay at Palace, and because I do wonder, stay there, try and deliver a European trophy, Conference League, secure European football for next year, keep that ball rolling for Palace. But I know Glasner's come out and said, well, you know, the money is vital. So the club, I almost feel like Glasner's almost challenging City, Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it does feel
He's almost going like, oh, yeah, well, you know, well, sell him if you want.
He's another guy that's only got 6 months left in his
So,
deal,
yeah, I don't know. I know it's not an original thought, but just joining City isn't like a very inspirational move, in my opinion. It's just, fair enough. You'll go there, you'll do quite well. I mean, who knows how long Pep's even going to stay? So
true. I mean, his contract ends at the end of next season. Ben, what about you from your point of view? Can you see why City is maybe actually the more attractive offer? Like, this is a team who have won the Premier League God knows how many times in the last 10 years. Whilst, yes, okay, when City win the Premier League, it's not as, or some people believe it's not as big as maybe winning it at another club, just due to them having had such a dominance in the last few years, obviously such a riches and finances in order to be able to compete like that and splash.
Yeah, I don't
splash
think
the cash in January.
I don't think players think like that though.
No, neither.
But
I
definitely
agree.
not. I
For
think-
Mark Gehi, it's the Premier League.
Exactly. It doesn't matter where you win it, in my opinion. You could say the same about Liverpool. Liverpool spent 400 million quid in the summer.
Yeah.
Like, they broke their transfer record twice to bring in Isak and Wirtz. I know City, there's obviously all the stuff with the charges, and it is a little bit more murky, obviously, but I don't think players think like that at all. Like, looking at the age profile of City centre-backs, Diaz is 28. Stones, as you said, I think will be gone in the summer.
He's 31 now.
Ake's 30. Could be a nice little swap deal on the cards there, potentially Gehi, and then Ake goes to Palace for 6 months or maybe goes there on a permanent deal. Gvardiol, obviously 23 and has got a huge 10 years ahead of him at City. I know he's injured at the moment, but Kusanov, I think, is a really good young centre-half. I thought, I've been trying to work out how to pronounce his name. Alen. Who's the young centre back they brought back from Watford who played really well for?
Oh yeah, I did see
is it
that.
Academy?
Yeah.
I can read it. I can't.
Haven't they also got that Vitor? Is it Vitor
Reis
as well?
I think
who's
he's
on
gone
loan
out
at
on loan. Isn't he?
Girona or something like that.
Yeah,
as well.
I don't see him.
But they are extremely young.
Yeah.
Like the jump between them, it's like your boys who are experienced, Ruben Diaz, who's maybe 28, fine.
Yeah.
But Stone's in his 30s, Ake's in his 30s, and the jump is literally like Gavardio at
Yeah.
23, and then the rest are 20.
I think Gahey can
Or
become.
younger.
So Diaz is like 28. If he gets a couple more injuries, I mean, centre backs, he'll still have a good couple of years left in his prime. But Gahey's what 25, 26,
25,
can
yeah.
kind of come in and take that sort of mantle away from him. I think Gahey will get enough time at City to feel like the move is justified. And I also feel like Gahey's probably got to the point, even though Colwell's going to come back from injury at some point, and England have got some other decent centre halves, that even if he doesn't start every single Premier League game for City, he's probably nailed down as the A side of that England defence.
Yeah, but he should be starting Mark Gahey should be a first choice and a half wherever he goes.
I agree, but
You can understand why maybe he wouldn't start with an informed Diaz and an informed Gavardio as the back two.
yeah,
You know, maybe they go to a back three, right? Like there's always that possibility. Like that's worked for, I guess, for him at Palace if you want to fit them in.
What is Diaz's injury? It's a hamstring injury. So again, that's something that could kind of reoccur. Gvardio's is obviously more of he broke his leg, so that's something that you just get over, and hopefully it just doesn't happen again. It's
He's broken his leg.
Yeah, he broke it against Chelsea. He broke his leg.
Yeah, he fractured something, didn't he? It was a weird one.
So like obviously Diaz might keep getting those injuries. I think Gahey will get, and also if Gahey comes in the absence of Diaz and just is really good and plays the level which we know he can for England and for Crystal Palace, then he might just kind of almost snatch that chain in the Man City back line, to be honest. So I understand if Gahey feels more like a Liverpool signing. It does. It doesn't typically feel like a kind of Man City signing. I can't really quantify or put my finger on what that means. And I think a lot of people said that about Semenyo as well, but I think that's more because the type of winger that we know Pep likes. But then again, like you kind of alluded on it with Semenyo earlier. Like it kind of feels like with Doku and him, they're almost recreating this
Sane
Sterling kind of vibe with Semenyo's the finisher. They haven't really got anyone else in that front line that is just as ruthless as him, really. But I don't know. I can see why people would say Gahey should go to Liverpool or what, but I think it's a really good opportunity this season for him to try and go and win a Premier League title, stabilise that back line, and I don't think it's going to affect his England place too much if he doesn't play every game.
I just finalise my point on this. I just like seeing my favourite players play week in, week out,
fair enough.
put the club on their back, and I just...
If he was suddenly on the bench, it would be a shame.
Shirky would be playing every game if he was at a different club. Grealish barely got a sniff last year. Like Pep does this because they've got such a good squad all the time. There are so many good players that kind of just almost semi-disappear in a way that they wouldn't accept it at other clubs. But because it's Pep City, they do get it. And I just don't want a situation where Mark Gahey...
Pep City also still plays 60-plus games a season.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there is 30-plus games for him to be there.
And I feel like with that attacking unit as well, I think a lot of the time it is kind of horses for courses. Like Cherky will get a lot of game time in against teams that, to be fair, I mean, most teams will set up in a low block against City. But, you know, in those games at home where you really want to break teams down, Cherky will play pretty much every game.
And how many players have we actually seen get frustrated at the lack of game time at City? Like, okay, Grealish, who at times unwarrantedly so. Alvarez obviously took the move because he wasn't playing enough once they brought Erling Haaland in.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
But then after them, I don't, unless there's some that are escaping. Sterling, but that was more because he kind of fell out with the management.
And also City, like you kind of alluded to there, City, Pep's never been backwards in coming forwards in saying, if you want to
you can
move on, that's absolutely fine. We'll look to get a deal.
And I always wonder, from a player point of view, because I agree with you, Henry, of course, when it's one of my favourite players, I want to see him play. But I always wonder, from a player point of view, would you rather play 45 games, start every game for a club who might challenge, or would you be guaranteed 20 plus games at Man City and have the chance of winning all these titles? You know, for Gahey, it's a little bit different because the other clubs he might go to are Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Liverpool.
I might get like slammed for this in the comments, but, and again, I don't think this is an original thought, but I like the romanticism of football, and I don't get the romanticism with City.
I get it.
It's
I understand.
They just throw money and win stuff all the time. Like when they win the Premier League, everyone goes, "Oh." It's kind of like.
But your career is short as a footballer, and ultimately,
yeah, but it depends. It depends how much you really value titles. I mean, do you know what I learned yesterday? There's a player called Henning Berg who won. He's one of very few players who's won the Premier League with two different teams because he won it with Blackburn and Man United. It's like, has he objectively had a better career than fucking Harry Kane.
But I guess
no, he's not.
You're speaking my language.
But then it's depends what like the player wants. You know, if that player can later in life be like, I won the Premier League twice. That is a hell of an achievement. Where okay, the average Joe might not know about them or care about them.
Yeah.
But my God, what a thing to say! Like it is. I get both sides.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think the funny thing is,
hasn't even Ake had a better career than most centre halves who haven't won much stuff? I don't think so. Like you can't just because he's been part of a squad that's won stuff.
But he's also
right.
played like a decent part for City in winning things.
You're
Like,
right.
it's
But I wouldn't say he's had a better career than a lot of these players.
I don't think anyone is saying that he's had a better career, but he's just had an incredible career for himself, which maybe went on beyond what he ever expected. You know, ultimately, the thing for Gehi is, I actually think, you kind of said it at the start, Henry, I think he probably goes Real Madrid, really. Like that knock, once Real Madrid come for you and say, look, you're going to be the starting right centre-back of this new revolution. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold here, who's your right-back. You've got Jude Bellingham here, who you know as well. Up front's going to be Mbappe. I don't actually know what's going to happen with Vinny Jr. in the summer, we'll see. But that is a hard thing to say no to.
Yeah.
And you're going to get paid X amount of money. Like,
Vinny's the assistant manager now. He's picking himself every week.
Also, like I do think this whole thing around, and I am with you because obviously I've been a staunch member of the Harry Kane fan club and defended him at every single possible opportunity. So this whole thing about who's had a better career than who, obviously it does matter, but I feel like that just exists as a debate for like fans to have. I don't think players are sitting there going like, well, I haven't won anything, but I've definitely had a better career than him. I think they just, I don't know, like I think it's more for fans to have that discussion. What do you think about the links to Arsenal? Because that's been rumoured as well, isn't it? For Gehi. And I think you could make the same argument.
I think he's got a better chance at starting at City than he does at Arsenal.
1 million%.
1 million%.
Just quickly, Kuzanov is a guy they bought in last winter for like what 45, 50 million quid.
He's really good as well.
He's good.
young.
What's going to happen to him?
But he's super young.
But this is what's annoying.
Can play right back as well, Kuznov.
He's
Can.
super young. Like he's very much a part of the squad, I think. Like I get what you mean, but and part of me would even suggest a loan move. He'd actually probably have a loan move at any other club if it wasn't for City, where they don't.
You don't sign 50 million pound players to put them on loan. Like, really,
Look, you're definitely not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
Kuzanov is going to light up the World Cup, and we're all going to be laughing. So,
Okay.
Uzbekistan qualified.
Okay,
yeah, big time.
Let's quickly then talk about one of the other. So let's rank that rumour quickly for Man City and Gehi out of 10. I think it would be like an 8 out of 10
For Man City,
transfer,
definitely.
9 out
For
of 10
Gehi,
transfer.
yeah, maybe slightly less because of what Henry's saying about the game time.
No,
but
look,
for City, it makes a lot of sense.
For both parties, I accept it's a good thing. Like it's no, I'm just sounding like an old grumpy man here, and it's true. If Mark
Hit his 30s and he's just
Gehi
ready.
moves to City, gets a load of money, gets to play under Pep, and wins a load of stuff, like you say, well done. Like that's 10 out of 10. But I mean, at the same time, I still think there's more value in winnings. Like when Liverpool won the Premier League last year, if Arsenal win the Premier League this year, like North London will be, I'm sorry to say it, it'll be amazing. I know that's maybe because they haven't won it in ages, but I just think there's more romanticism in doing it that way. So I don't want him to go to Arsenal, by the way, for the same reasons that I've said already.
Was it romantic when City won it in 2012?
A little bit, because like there was such an epic way that they got over the line.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I guess it's also getting used to them winning as well.
Yeah.
It does take it. It takes the kind of.
Also, like this whole thing, I know that there's the charges and stuff with City, which I know are different, but like, you know, we've gone through, but Man United dominated the league because they bought every single best player from the other top
It's
team.
a really good point.
And it's
Really
like,
good
so
point. Yeah, but they still did
think
it.
City just, I don't know.
They still did it in a different way. Like I'm not.
They spent more money than anybody else. Like they did.
Yeah, but the foundations of their success, whether you like it or not,
Was built on, yeah, the
was
past nights.
built on a bunch of young
But
guys
it did
coming
help
out.
the fact they would have bought Andy Cole. Yeah, well, yeah, good point. Andy Cole, Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, but they earned that right. They earned that ability to get there. Whereas City,
Fair point. Yeah.
sort
The
of
charges,
holds
it
themselves.
always murkies
anyway.
the water.
Let's move on.
Let's move on then, and we can quickly touch upon the other rumour around Nottingham Forest's Elliot Anderson possibly going to Man City as well. I mean, this is one of the most hot properties. I think from the off, it's not happening, Jan.
No way.
It's not, they're too close possibly
No
to
way,
the relegation zone to risk losing someone of that quality who's going to help keep them up.
Not now, we're 2 weeks into Jan.
Yeah,
like,
2
it's
weeks
just
into Jan, not enough time to be able to get the adequate replacement in. I'm sure Sean Dyche, if he had hair and that transfer happened, it would be falling out or being teared out. I think very quickly it's a 2 out of 10, not happening at all. But in terms of the actual transfer, again, like, look, they'll be adding quality. Whether he'd be actually playing lots is another question. But I think it's one for more of the summer, and I don't actually see him ending up at Man City. Unless
Rodri's
City,
been good recently as well since he's come
yeah,
back.
even Nico Gonzalez. Like, I mean, that transfer. Henry talks about players not maybe playing as much as they were. He's definitely probably not playing as much as he thought he would.
Yeah.
But I think when he's been on the pitch, he's looked pretty good as well. Okay, let's move on to Spurs. Let's do it then. Let's work it out of the way. Let's quickly start off with the transfer of Conor Gallagher, £35 million, a player who I think had just over 600 minutes at Atletico Madrid this season.
Yeah, 4 starts.
Has been out of favour really for the last year or so. Somebody who is never injured, somebody who is an absolute dog on the pitch.
Just you wait.
His actual injury record is
no. He's never missed a game of injury.
Yeah, I think he was once ill.
This is Tottenham.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
This is Tottenham.
So let's quickly mention Let's mention Gallagher then, Ben. And let's not spend too much time on him just because it's done. It is. What your thoughts? Happy? I feel like Spurs fans originally, when the rumours were happening, weren't over enamoured by them.
Yeah.
But now have kind of accepted them and are fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened now. So it's I'm looking forward to seeing him play. My issues with the transfer, as Henry was taking the mick out of me earlier, but my issues with the transfer have never been about Conor Gallagher as a player. Yeah. I've always really liked Conor Gallagher. I think he's got really strong attributes. His leadership, his tenacity, his work rate, his box crashing ability, his ball striking is good. He's a very tidy technical player. It's just he's not really... I'm not sure we're going to see the best of him until Spurs then go and address the other issue in midfield, which is that deep line playmaker, which I've spoken about on here till I'm blue in the face. I'm not going to go over that again because it is our biggest problem. I think Spurs fans have a right to be slightly confused about the strategy when we've spent £35 million on a midfielder that actually does nothing to fix our biggest problem. That doesn't make Conor Gallagher a bad signing if Spurs then go and do address those issues, obviously. But I think Conor Gallagher does his best work further up the pitch as a number 10. I think you saw that at Chelsea under Pochettino. Yeah. Or is it, not necessarily a classic number 10, but like a second striker kind of almost. And we saw
that's what he also did at Palace as well.
Exactly, yeah. So what was it? 7 goals and 9 assists under Poch, and I think similar numbers under Vieira at Crystal Palace as well. Again, like I said, you see the best of him in and around the box, pressing high up the field. And I do think, look, Spurs have been crying out for a little bit of just proven, ready now experience to add to that squad as well. I think he's a good age profile. So there's a lot of factors to make it a good signing, but I think as a Spurs fan, you can say, well, okay, we could have put that money potentially towards a deep line playmaker, considering Sarr and Bergvall are similar profiles to Gallagher.
I mean, and that's where I do worry for it slightly. Look, I actually think, funnily enough, since Gallagher has left the Premier League, I think the Premier League has become a little bit more about his game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Tenacity, that doggedness in midfield. So I think that's good. What I do worry slightly is, this isn't like a 30-year-old midfielder who there is still a really nice progression for the likes of Bergvall and Sarr. I do slightly worry for Bergvall in a way and how
I think it's more Sarr, to be honest.
Okay.
But
Bergvall can still play. I mean, I'm just thinking of how Thomas Frank plays Bergvall. That's adds to the issue.
But he's played Sarr in the same kind of way. So he's played Bergvall as the 10 a lot this season, and Sarr started the season there when we didn't have Simmons.
One of my biggest issues with Gallagher sometimes is all I can say is get ready for him to lose the ball a lot on turnovers. As in, sometimes he'll try and do a little bit too much, and so a counter attack happens. That would happen quite often. Not quite often, but
that's maybe where. However long it's been at Atletico comes into play.
True,
that's maybe where
the experience of it has added or helped his game. And this is also a player. I think sometimes it is when a player leaves the Premier League and comes back, we're so used to thinking they're the exact same player they were when they left. And actually playing for a Simeone side, you're right, Henry, can teach you so much about that athleticism side to the game, that ability to keep hold of the ball or to get ready for a counter attack. That's how they would play.
And even the mentality, you look at someone like Kieran Trippier, for example, look
really
how much
really
he benefited from going and working under Simeone. I know different styles of players. I
think it's more of a floor raiser signing.
It's
not someone who's going to be lights out and change the season for Spurs. But I do think it's someone who will help raise the floor slightly.
Yeah.
But there are still bigger issues there.
He will be.
He'll be fine. I think £35 million not bad.
Yeah.
I do think there was a great tweet about where it was you know what, for clubs outside of the Premier League, making £40 million transfers is never that bad because there is always a club out there willing to spend £35 million on an English player.
Yeah, they basically got their money. They've got their money back from them.
They missed out on £2 million, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, I think you have something to prove in the sense that he hasn't really had that much game time at Atletico this year.
Yeah.
4 starts in the league, 15 as a substitute. Yeah. It must be frustrating. But I mean, if you look at that Atletico team, Raspadori, who was a new signing, he's already gone, didn't get any minutes. Griezmann, he's basically been benched this year. Johnny Cardozo, they spent 30 million on Betis. He's barely even featured, might be injured, I'm not even sure. Thiago Almeida, a really exciting guy out of the MLS. doesn't feature.
Barrios as well, haven't they?
So they really like Barry. He's basically been wedded to a few players. Barrios in midfield, like even Nico Gonzalez is getting a few minutes, but Alex Baena, like super exciting guy from Villarreal, doesn't get that much game time. So the point is, once Simeone settles on like a starting 11, it's actually incredibly hard to break into it. And like they're not exact. It's such a weird midfield when you look at it on paper.
Weird play style.
So I Conor Gallagher will be looking at this as like, right, he's got 6 months to basically knock on Thomas Tuchel's door and go, hello, look at me. Because
I'm gutted from a Chelsea point of view. And like, it's funny now. I think as the years have gone on, I do think sometimes fans believe more in like the rivalries than the players do by a mile nowadays. Like having a rivalry or like having played for Chelsea and moving to Spurs, like, eventually moving to Arsenal, whatever it might be.
I was going to say the amount of players, the amount of business that Arsenal and Chelsea have done.
Even it's just not that deep to them anymore. Unfortunately, in ways.
He sat on the bench at Atletico Madrid. He's out of the England team, and he's been given a golden opportunity to move back to London to play for one of the biggest teams.
About Villa, obviously to you specifically, Henry, here, maybe outside of the kind of Spurs bubble. Obviously, he had the possibility to move to Villa. I think also Atletico Madrid had a bit more of a say in this as well because Spurs were willing to match more of what it was. I think it was a loan to Villa with an obligation on conditions to buy.
Hey, right.
Whereas Spurs, it's a straight permanent move. What's your thoughts in terms of like, and maybe from a player point of view that he didn't go out there and say, well, I want to just move to Aston Villa.
Well,
he was open to moving to Spurs.
I think moving to Villa there's never been a better time to move to Villa, I think.
But does that not say anything about how, like, the London attraction, the maybe finances that some clubs have?
I think it's
Villa PSR.
I think it's
structure a little bit, to be honest.
I actually think this is pure. I think this is pure money. I think this is. It's Tottenham said we'll do it right now. We'll give you that money right now. Which Atletico, they're always a team.
I'm all about also from a Gallagher point of view. Like, Gallagher can say, look, I'm not joining Spurs. I want to go to Villa.
No, I think it's much nothing really fit. Well, no. I'll take that back. I do think that he'd have been happy with either, in the sense that.
But if you look at the progressions of the clubs at the moment, and not saying that Spurs won't ever come back, but right now, Villa are miles clear, miles ahead. They've got a more established setup, they've got a better manager, they've got a fan base who actually don't hate the club right now.
Yeah, but I think with Spurs is you never quite know. They're one season away from sort of turning it around. Like we saw Ange get them into fifth. They're not. The squad isn't as bad as some people seem to make it out to be. Like there is a lot of talent. I think I saw Seb tweeting about the things that Audebert has done at French level. Matthias Tell, all these guys have all done stuff. It's just not clicking right now. And I do think that in the similar way that we talked about Manchester United last week, I do think that Spurs aren't a world away from being a very good side once again. So I think it's not a bad thing for Gallagher to go there. Like they've still got an amazing setup. And like you said, moving back to London.
Well, I do wonder whether London. I know he still has his house here in London.
He's from my neck of the woods.
Yeah, well, I can say you can see him quite often in Battersea shopping centre. He's normally
sure to be over there.
His brother plays the Dortmund Wanderers, or did anyway. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Was he the one that did that?
His brother, just the spin. Yeah.
So
his family are lovely.
From a footballing perspective, you would rather probably go to Unai Emery's Aston Villa, third in the league, in Europa League, probably favourites to win that. Yeah, looking great. Like Unai, I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon. However, I think money-wise, sure, why not? It's still not a bad thing for him. That's the level of club he's going to join.
Yeah. I also think with Villa as well, like the reason I actually put this forward as someone Villa should definitely go and buy before he came to Spurs, because I think when you think about, as I said earlier, Gallagher's best attributes, I think Villa have got the other midfielders in that squad to be able to complement him the best. Yeah. If you think about especially what Tielemans and Kamara can do on the ball to break the lines and get Gallagher free and turning in the final third, he can kind of come in and maybe start or rotate with Buendia in the role that he plays.
I quite like that move.
I think from a footballing point of view, it made a lot of sense. And I still, like I said, I still do have worries about Gallagher not being able to. We're not going to see the best of Conor Gallagher while Spurs are as dysfunctional as they are right now without that midfielder. But look, I still like Gallagher as a player. And to be fair to Tottenham, in a way, it is good that they have gone and, taken a player away from another team and been more ballsy and say we're just going to get this done, we want it, because we've not acted in that way in the past. But that doesn't atone for previous. That doesn't atone for previous errors, and I still don't have that. I think my negativity around this signing, the final thing I'll say on it is, it's just that trust when it comes to the club, because we have gone 4 years pretty much. We signed Sousa, this young Brazilian left back, but we've gone pretty much 4 years without signing a left back. When you can look at the injuries that Destiny Udogie has had, we've still not signed another centre back really since Van der Ven came through the door. Vuskovic arrived in the same summer, but obviously he's been on developmental loans. Van der Ven's had a lot. Yeah, he's really good player of the season so far in the Bundesliga. Van der Ven's obviously had a lot of injuries. You could argue that we needed this deep line playmaker 2 years ago as well. So it's just about that trust of Spurs to build the squad in a way that actually gets the best out of someone like Conor Gallagher and makes this a much better signing than it currently looks on paper. But there is so much to like about him. It's just, do I have that trust that Tottenham will go and fix the other areas of the squad that will make this signing make more sense? That's it.
What is your midfield for Spurs now with him in?
What I think Frank will do, or what I would probably do.
Oh, both. Why not?
I mean, we've got obviously injuries at the moment. Benson calls out for 3 months. Bergvall, apparently, an injury that he picked up against Bournemouth is more serious than they thought, so he might be another one that requires mini surgery.
A double pivot of Paulinho and Gallagher.
I do think my hunch is that Gallagher will play in a 10. Xavi Simons will move out to the left, and he'll play with Gray and Paulinho.
That suffers.
That's what
Simons,
I think,
man.
I know it's not so bad if you've got an overlapping fullback going around. To be fair, because then he can come inside. But it's not. Still, just not perfect. If we go out and sign another progressive midfielder, and you can play maybe him next to Gray or him next to Gallagher and Simmons in the 10 or whatever, then all of a sudden things look different.
And out of 10, what are you ranking the move?
I'd probably say a
6.5,
6.5, 7. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned Sousa as well, youngster left back. I mean, he's not necessarily going to be a starter week in, week out, but we'll see.
Mate, honestly,
one other transfer rumour about Spurs that I think is really interesting. Again, whether this is a legitimate source, we'll see. But Karim Adeyemi from Borussia Dortmund, obviously he wants to leave Dortmund. There's the whole rumours around his girlfriend wants to leave Dortmund. London's a very attractive place for it. Would you have him in the side? Obviously, can play off the wing, can play up top. What do you make of that rumour?
Adeyemi's. I don't know. I actually just don't really know.
I've watched Adeyemi before and thought there is a really good player.
Yeah, he's a real purple patchman.
Yeah, he is.
And also, I feel like he's someone that thrives running into space and using his pace to get in behind. And I don't really feel like that's the winger we kind of.
It is sort of like selling Brennan Johnson and bringing in a German Brennan Johnson.
And that's why also we've been linked to Kevin.
I'll give him maybe more credit than Brennan Johnson.
Maybe,
sure.
We've been linked to Kevin Schade as well, who I think is again in that similar sort of mould of someone who prefers attacking space. Rather than I think Kevin Schade is similar to Brennan Johnson, maybe slightly better, but
no, I think you need to sign a level above that.
I fully agree. I'm just saying in terms of profile.
Wasn't Kevin Schade the replacement target for Brennan Johnson when Brentford didn't get it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I think I've been unfair on Kevin Schade before because he does pop up with goals.
Yeah,
and
I mean, he went wild that score.
But I just think. Okay, you're buying all these young guys on one hand, but on the other hand, you have to be getting in some elite players.
It'd be 50, 60 million on another it just would be. And the player that we've been linked with that does excite me a little bit more is Magnus Hakliush. He's someone that we really wanted in the summer. But the only thing with that is, I think he's obviously really talented, played an absolute blinder against us in the Champions League. It does again start to raise questions about the squad building when Kulusevski does come back, and obviously there's no guarantee that he comes back the same player, by the way, because that is a very serious injury, and it looks like at the moment Maddison's going to be back before him. Bear in mind, Maddison did his ACL 3 months after Kulusevski got injured.
Must be nearly a year now, no?
May.
May.
It's almost disappeared, isn't it?
It's his patella, so his knees basically just exploded.
God, Sweden are absolutely ballsed, aren't they?
They are.
Kulusevski,
Isak,
Bergvall,
and they've got to deal with Gyökeres up front.
And they've got Gyökeres and Graham Potter are their only
hope. Gyökeres was good when I saw him yesterday. He's one of the funniest players to watch in person.
I think you can only...
There's a player that I play five-a-side with who reminds me of him so much.
But I still agree.
You can only do your signature celebration if you score a good goal. Like yesterday he was frustrated. It was just like, fine.
You wouldn't see Harry Kane doing one of them after scoring.
I know it's recently he's gone for a reverse chop. He's gone for...
He's switching up, Harry Kane. You know when he changes penalty technique, he's kind of gone, change celebration up as well.
Okay then, and the Adeyemi move out of 10
doesn't move me. 5 out of 10. It doesn't move me.
Okay then, let's jump over to Manchester United because they are looking for a bit of a utility player at this rumour. I mean, apparently they are looking at spending 35 million euros on Atletico Madrid's Marcus Llorente, someone who can play fullback, can play midfield. I mean, has played on the wing as well. What do we make of that? I mean, it's an interesting one what they're going to do this January window, considering they don't have a permanent manager. Carrick is now through the door, interim till the end of the season. Yeah. Is it worth making any transfers in Jan, Henry, considering they don't know who the manager is going to be in the summer? But then also at the same time, is that not the whole point of what a sporting director and sporting model is meant to be? Yeah,
I mean, I said this last week when we talked about it. I do sort of agree with what Joe Tomlinson advised me, which is maybe just leave it. Like, they're not a world away. And yeah, again, the only position I would really try and strengthen is that central defensive role. But I do think you go in for Elliot Anderson in the summer and try and play your hands there. Just on Carrick quickly, I know there's a lot of people are bantering Liam Rosenier getting the job, and like everyone's now Carrick's got the job. He's just at Middlesbrough. Like that's two young English managers that have come into the Premier League now, and
I feel like Carrick you can't count as much though because it is an interim. If that makes sense.
Still, this is a platform for him to show what he can do.
Yeah.
Like he's getting 20 games or if that
true,
to actually just show what he can do. And like look at Marco Silva's contract up at the end of the season at Fulham. There's a world where like a Carrick walks into Fulham at the end of this, or Carrick even looks absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
and gets given another year. I think we're so pessimistic about the coaching pathways in this country, and rightly so, compared to the likes of Germany. And I've got no issues with foreign managers coming here at all. Like if you're good enough, you deserve to come to the top table and get jobs. But there has to still be pathways here that show that you can get there. And as much as I hate the Blueco system, Liam's gone to France, shown what he can do. He's got a job. Carrick's got this job. Even Edwards going back into Wolves, like it gives me hope that basically we've doubled the amount of English managers in the Premier League in the space of a month. And I do think there's
managers. Do you not think like we had the era of say Allardyce, Pardew, that era, and then there was basically a whole generation where nobody came through, really. And now you've got the young guys, your Lampard, your Liam Rosenior, your even Graham Potter's not like is still early 40s. Yeah. So like there was that massive gap for about 10 years where there was no like new English manager who managed to make it stick, I guess. For a while.
It's true. So it's exciting to see. But yeah, on United, just back to that, I'd decide one player if it. Is there a Baleba alternative? Is it just Baleba that they want, or is there someone else?
There was, I guess to a degree, Llorente can play in midfield, but I don't know whether that
feels like such a career mode signing.
It does on FIFA. Yeah.
Who?
EAFC.
Like a career mode FIFA signing. Llorente
from Atletico Madrid.
Oh right, United. He can do it. He's like a Valverde type, where he sort of just play wherever he wants.
Yeah. I mean, there are rumors about Valverde possibly leaving Real Madrid as well, but I don't see that happening. That probably like just bleeds the royal crest.
I do think with Valverde in the summer, if he's still not playing in the position that he wants to play in, which is fairly frequent, according to Guillermo Balaguer, then I do think there's worth trying to wobble the tooth and see what happens.
Well, I think one of those midfielders at Real Madrid, like whether it be Arda Güler, whether it be Tchouaméni, whether it be maybe not Tchouaméni, Camavinga, like or Valverde, like test the
Valverde is always on transfer marks valued at like 110, 120 million. I do think if you're that valuable, then why aren't you allowed to play in the position you want to play in?
Yeah. And especially with the fact that Madrid will probably sign another midfielder, considering they've not really replaced Toni Kroos since.
Yeah, I mean, Angelo Stiller was linked to them for a long time in the summer. It never happened in the end. It felt like it was going to happen.
Is Stiller out of contract? What's the situation with that?
I think he is available. You have to buy him, I think, in the summer. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. But I mean, I can have a quick look now.
With Michael Carrick, I don't. United fans will be able to say in the comments. I don't know loads about the way he sets up necessarily, but it feels like it's a four. Did he play 4-2-3-1?
I think it's going to be a 4-2-3-1, isn't it? In some shape or form.
I mean, Agate, I think he would just do well to just get him out of the team as soon as possible because he's just like he's been dreadful again against Brighton on Sunday. Oh my god. So again, Kobe Mainoo probably goes back into the team alongside Casemiro, who's been good for United this season. I think till the end of the season, that's fine. I still have question marks a little bit in forward areas. I think Cunha recently is just like
Cunha's been off it.
Really off it.
Yeah,
obviously, Ahmad coming back from AFCON and Bremer coming back from AFCON changed things up a lot. And maybe Dorgu starts to play a bit more as a winger. I don't know. I mean, this setup potentially, although they haven't really got. I mean, Shaw could play left back, I suppose. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what happens with Carrick. Midfield is the obvious area for them to improve, but whether they can get the guy that really moves the needle in January or not, I don't know. that kind of makes me question my doubts about the Spurs thing. Like, if you can't get the guy, then obviously fair enough. But so kind of giving United that advice, I guess. Yeah, give it Cobby and Casemiro to the end of the season.
Yeah,
I reckon.
give Cobby. Just give it to Cobby.
Yeah,
Okay,
Give
well,
it Cobby. Give it Cobby to the end of the season.
There you have it, Carrick. Your job's been done for you. Over then to Aston Villa. We mentioned them previously, obviously, about Conor Gallagher, but there has been some interesting moves there. Donyell Malen is going to Roma, which looks like it's going to grant a move possibly for Tammy Abraham to come to Villa. Obviously, he's currently on loan.
I don't hate it.
That feels like
Besiktas.
feels like a PSR thing, that doesn't it? Surely.
I mean, they are having to play within PSR, aren't they? They are one of the clubs that still that aren't necessarily.
Do you know the thing about Tammy Abraham? He knows the club. He knows the club. He knows it inside out. So,
Yeah, he knows something when they're in the Championship. Yeah. I mean, look, I always feel Tammy Abraham's career was a little bit unfortunate in ways. Like, he had a good debut season for Chelsea when he came back from Villa on loan. Scored, I think it was 15 goals in the Premier League in under Frank Lampard. In that season where Chelsea got Champions League football, they had that transfer ban. Obviously, then Chelsea brought in the likes of Timo Werner and Kai Havertz, and he was kind of pushed towards the bench. Never really got in. And when Tuchel happened, obviously, whilst he was a part of that squad that won the Champions League, he never really contributed too much. Olivier Giroud probably got a bit more of a look in when that happened.
Yeah.
He then got his move over to
Roma.
Had a good first season or so there. Had a good time under Jose Mourinho. Then got injured. Was out for a long time.
Yeah.
Was it ACL? It was something to do with
He's had a few exceptional seasons.
He has. He did well in Serie A.
27 goals in his first Serie A season.
Yeah.
He got 26 in the Championship for Villa. He got 26 in the Championship for Bristol City as well.
Yeah, when he first went on, like, he was always a very exciting.
15 in the Prem for Chelsea.
It's funny because he came through at the same time as Solanke, and Solanke at Chelsea's academy was the one that everyone looked at as like, this is the guy. And then Tammy arguably managed to find his way to the Chelsea.
He was at Roma for 4 years.
Yeah. Well, he still is at Roma. Like that's the thing. He went on loan to Milan last season.
Yes.
Did okay.
10
but
goals.
I think he did his ACL. I think he did something real bad.
Did another injury.
when he
That's
was
what I mean. He
there.
suffered with injury issues. And
Yeah.
then Roma's have had so many changes, really. In his
I think that
time
was a
since
couple of
being
seasons
there.
ago, because last season he played 44 games for Milan. I think it was 23-24. He only played 12 games. So I think it must have been that season.
I mean, he's
I don't
got
think
he's got
it's awful.
12
Ollie
and
Watkins is the striker there.
yeah, he's got 12 and 24 this year for Besiktas, which shows that he's in form.
Yeah.
Reminds me when like Wout Weghorst got his move to United halfway through the system. But
But Donyell Malen is a bit of a crucial player. Like, he's had. I was actually kind of surprised they've loaned him out. I thought he's had moments where he's looked good for Villa
Yeah.
this season.
I
Kind
quite
of on the
like
bench, and he at least is a bit more versatile. Like, Tammy's a striker. He is the replacement for basically when they don't want to play Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine because they don't really have an out-and-out sense
they
forward
don't,
like
no,
that.
no,
And
it's, yeah.
we're talking about a striker here that's
I forgot about him.
149 goals and 400 league appearances. Like, that's pretty good for a
400 league appearances now.
not league, just in all comps. Like, that's not a bad ratio for a sort of forward, and he is scoring at the moment. So I actually think Abraham to Villa as someone to support, either playing a front two or sometimes like lead the line by himself or be an option. I actually think that's an all right transfer. It's not the most exciting, but it's all right.
How old does this make you feel? He's 28 now.
That's a good age.
Same age,
age,
yeah, great age.
great
Let's say
age,
it's a
yeah,
good
interesting.
age.
Prime
But it
years.
is that is one of those like when I first started working in football 10 years ago, he was someone we were doing videos about like keep an eye on this guy,
yeah.
and now he's nearly 30. God, that is it. I agree. I'd be ranking that like a 7 out of 10. I don't mind that. It's someone, as long as he knows that you're not going to be the starting player here. I don't mind that whatsoever.
He offers something different to Watkins as well. The different kinds of strikers. Marlon obviously offered that kind of differential, but probably a little bit more similar in terms of someone that can stretch defences, run in the channels. Abraham's not really about that. He's more of a target man. So yeah, I don't mind it. The thing is with Watkins is that he's obviously really in form at the moment. Is it true that no players scored more goals than him in the Premier League since the start of December? I think that might be true.
That's a very specific stat.
But he does go through like
He does purple
patches, doesn't he?
at the time,
He's that, and I feel like Villa are almost a little bit like that in a way themselves. So to go and replace Marlon is obviously something they need to do. It does feel like a bit of one of the deals that again highlights that they are a bit hamstrung by PSR, getting them on loan and then getting money for Marlon because it is an obligation, right?
Yeah. I think so. Again, that can change.
So yeah, I don't.
But I don't feel like the fee would be terrible.
No.
And obviously they get in the Champions League.
I think it was like 25 mil, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we'll see. And as I said, it might be around. It's like an obligation if they get into the Champions or something
Right.
like that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't mind
then
it.
why don't we jump over to Tammy Abraham's original club, Chelsea? The rumour that came out for Chelsea is they're keen on another winger, lads. They're keen on another winger.
kill me.
They're linked to Feyenoord's right winger, but can also play on the left. Anis Haj Musa,
Oh, great.
a very
Algerian
lad. One from my
Very
home.
Algerian.
My home
very
country. No, he was born in
Algerian
France. But he's an exciting young winger. I feel like this is something that actually won't happen, surely. Like, this is a guy who primarily put out on the right. Chelsea have Cole Palmer and Esteval there. Pedro Neto can play there. I don't really feel like this is something that will happen. I'm going to be giving it just a 3 out of 10.
They've
He's an
got
exciting young winger.
they've got a Japanese lad, Ueda, who scored 18 goals this season.
Feyenoord.
Yeah, Feyenoord. I'm surprised you're not looking at him. I just really, again, I've said this before, I don't understand what the pitch is that they're giving to all of these players to convince them of this mythical pathway. Like, you're signing Quenda in the summer as well, aren't you?
Welcome,
It's
welcome, Quenda.
you've got.
I think Palmer's off, I reckon.
I think
Just saying.
they're like, your owners must be like, have a problem with TikTok and have short term, because it's as if they see something new and they go, actually, I really want
Chelsea's
that.
owner's got brain rot.
Yeah. They've gone, and it's Haj Musa. Oh, yeah.
I feel like this one just won't happen, though.
You don't need him. You don't need him. You don't need another winger. Just use what you got. Garnacho looked pretty good yesterday. Just give minutes to the players you've got.
Yeah.
Free Gittins, please, for someone from that
He was
club.
good at
But
Charlton.
that's the thing. I think you could argue that
Against
Chelsea
Chelsea?
do need another
Really?
winger.
Wow, that's relief.
Best game so far. I think you could make the argument Chelsea need another winger, but if they go and sign another winger, it just has to be someone that is just like
Lights out.
ready now, like Barker, someone like that. Because Chelsea just fundamentally can't go and sign another young one.
I don't think it's
I
gonna
know
happen.
Barker is young, but
I don't think it's going to happen
Experience.
whatsoever. Okay, then let's chat about two clubs who are both after strikers. Everton, Nottingham Forest are both keen on signing Yusuf and Nesri. Obviously, we know him well from Sevilla days.
Yep.
Who they played against in the final? Sevilla, where he was up front. Anyway, in the Europa League. Ignore me. It doesn't
Roma,
matter.
wasn't it?
Was it Roma? Might have been.
Inter?
No.
Roma?
Europa League.
they
I
beat
think
Jose's Roma, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, that was a tangent. They're after a striker. Both of the clubs are after him. There is also a caveat that Everton are looking at the likes of Callum Wilson as well, bringing him in up top.
Honestly,
don't
and
hate that.
also
don't
there is the other for Forest who are looking at Taremi. The Iranian striker as well. So let's talk first about Yusuf and Nesri. Obviously, he's a little bit older, a bit more experienced. You kind of more of that classic number 9 build for the likes of Everton and Nottingham Forest. Everton currently have Barry and Beto up top.
Wow.
Obviously, Forest have Chris Wood and Jesus up top. It's interesting that, we're talking about Forest side, who last season, their striker couldn't stop scoring, Chris Wood, and now he can't even get into the team.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
almost like it was never going to last.
yeah, I agree with Ben. It's a shame because obviously it's a World Cup year and he's going to carry the hopes of New Zealand.
Chris Wood should go back to Burnley.
Chris Wood should be pushing for a loan move.
Yeah.
He should be like, look, I just need to play at this point. And like, he can clearly, if you just put the ball on a plate for him, he's not too bad. Just to end the series, I do think he's a good striker. He's been at Fenerbahce. He was a Mourinho signing.
Yeah.
So I always remember that goal he scored against Portugal in the World Cup, where he leaped like a bloody salmon, about 4 feet. And he's a proven goal scorer, and out of all the names you've just mentioned there, Taremi, who I think is playing at Olympiacos right now and is a bit older, I'm surprised that he's looking for a move already. I end the series.
Well, he's being linked to Forest, remember?
Who? And it's
Olympiacos.
Makes
Sense.
I
thought you said Everton when you first.
I thought they were looking
Taremi
at
is looking
Strand
at-
Larson.
Yeah, Forest are looking at Strand Larson.
Yes, they have. I mean, West Ham, but I think the price for Strand Larson is.
Well, I mean, West Ham have signed 2 strikers already, haven't they?
That's what I mean. I think what put them off of signing Strand Larson was the price that what Wolves were asking for.
Right.
Like this, I think
How much do you think Wolves would ask for in this January? Because it
it-
feels like the
I
sort of
think
thing
it's
Forest would do.
I think it's 40, 45, something like that.
Yusuf in the series, 28 years old, and he's got 7 goals this season for Fenerbahce in about 1,000 minutes, which isn't too bad. I don't think he's the starting centre forward.
Not bad.
Week in, week out. So
it's
the
John-
point
it's
of
Duran, isn't it?
Not even,
Villa
not
playing Fenerbahce.
not really. Asensio's the boy over there these days. Okay. So the point is, I think if you can get him out of at 28 years old, I think there's still a really good striker there. So I would 100%.
Who would you be? Which one of those two clubs would you be preferring if you were him, Ben? Forest or Everton? Everton higher up in the table at the moment. Forest obviously playing in Europe this season, but looks like it only may be this season unless they go on to win the Europa League.
Yeah, I don't. They're kind of similar in a way. Like obviously Forest, like you said, have got the attraction of European football. Is he going to go in there and definitely start in the league? Like Jesus obviously offers something to that team, but he's not that clinical. I don't know. Maybe Everton, you're probably more likely to go in and start over Barry.
But your service might be better at Everton.
Yeah.
The likes of Grealish, Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, Forest are not creating loads.
Who's the other one at Everton? I'm forgetting. Ajay? Sorry. Yeah, that's probably better service than Forest currently at the moment. Obviously, Gibbs White, Hudson-Odoi, who's on the right? Hutchinson, and then also there's the other kid that's been looking okay as well. Bakwa. Is probably better service from Everton, I think.
Probably. I think they're much of a muchness, to be honest.
Yeah, fair. So it depends on what the deal would be. If it's a loan move, maybe.
I think for Everton,
Forest would probably offer more money, I'd imagine.
True.
For Everton, I mean, Barry's been scoring a bit recently.
Yep.
I'm pleased for him. I'm pleased he's got that off his back. I've said my piece on Beto a number of times on this channel. Less said about it, the better. The Beto,
very good, very good.
So I think if Everton went out and signed En-Nesyri, I think that's their kind of level of striker at the moment. He's a proven goal scorer. They've got creators around him. Get Kiernan Dewsbury all back in the team when he's fit and healthy. I'd honestly give that transfer an 8 out of 10.
Okay,
decent.
I like it. All right, then our final transfer rumour we're going to talk about is the fact that apparently Bournemouth are aware they could face a fight to hang on to English midfielder Alex Scott, whether it be this summer or even January. Apparently some of the clubs are interested in Manchester United, Man City, Aston Villa and Newcastle United. I mean, he is a very, very good player, versatile in ways in midfield. We've seen him play a little bit deeper for Bournemouth so far this season. Obviously, he's got his call up to the England team in the last camp as well.
That's cool. He's a Guernsey boy.
It's someone who I think as well.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
He was always really exciting in the Championship. Obviously, got that move to Bournemouth, then has suffered several injuries that have
Big
kept him back.
as well.
Big injuries. But this season, this like 8 role that he's played for Bournemouth, he's looked really, really impressive in. And I mean, I think like Man City might be a step too far, considering who else will have to compete with in that midfield. But the other clubs,
Reinders.
Look, Villa's midfield is exceptional. It's one of the best, I think, in the league. Just how they play together as well. It complements each other really well. I kind of like the idea of a Newcastle move there. If he was to join Tonali, Bruno G, and Alex Scott, that could be quite fun. Is it something that is something that's going to happen this January, Ben? And where would the club of choice for him be?
I doubt it, because I think Bournemouth, after losing Semenyo already, will demand a hell of a lot of money for Alex Scott.
Agreed.
And rightly so. I don't think he's quite at the level of Wharton and Anderson. Again, different kinds of players. But if you're saying they're 100 million, I think Bournemouth would have every right to ask for 60, 70 maybe for Alex Scott. I don't think that's crazy to say. I think he's an excellent ball carrier. I think he's a good progressive passer as well, although that's not his main bag like it is with Wharton. He's got a good engine, good quality in the final third, works hard defensively. He's just he could become a very, very complete number 8. I think he's got a very decent base level of a skill set across kind of a lot of different things. And he's a good progressive midfielder. He's now in the England squad as well, kind of being considered, he will be in consideration for every squad kind of going forward after getting in the last one. Newcastle, I don't mind that. I still think Newcastle maybe needs someone more in the mould of a bit more of a maverick, I think, maybe just to add a little bit of, take the safety off a little bit, I think, with their transfer policy. Yeah. But I think Man City, obviously, Alex Scott, I think he'd find it difficult to get enough. Yeah, I'm on Henry's Mark Gay point earlier. Like that more so applies to Alex Scott, definitely. I'm trying to think of other teams, maybe. Aston Villa, I think, weirdly, if Alex Scott was to go to Aston Villa, I don't think that makes as much sense for them as it does for Conor Gallagher to go there. And Alex Scott would make more sense for Spurs, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't understand why Villa would necessarily prioritise a profile like someone like an Alex Scott, considering the breadth of 8s they do have.
Yeah, Yuri Tielemans, doesn't quite make sense, does it?
Kamara and Onana. Whereas I think Villa, if they're going to reinforce the midfield in January, I think it should have been someone like a Gallagher who could play further forward, and Spurs should have prioritised someone that could play deeper, like Scott. So I don't know. It's difficult to pick the best fitting team for him. Liverpool, maybe. Potentially.
I really don't mind that.
There's rumours about McAllister moving on, isn't there? There's rumours
I wouldn't hate that if I was Liverpool. A
little,
not swap, but you know what I mean? Like McAllister moves on and Scott kind of comes in. I wouldn't mind that. I think he's an excellent player.
That England call-up, really, because look, I think we can all agree he's probably not going to go to the World Cup.
No.
But what that England call-up did was almost really blow the doors open on how good he is to everyone, because I know Bournemouth have fallen down the table a little bit. That's not surprising. They play a pretty exhausting style of football. Like, this is going to catch up with you eventually. Obviously, they'll be fine. But yeah, that England call-up has really exposed the quality that they found in Scott, and it's only going to put him in good stead going forward. I sort of agree with you. But again, for him, moving to someone like Villa and learning under Unai Emery, I think would be an amazing move.
That won't be a bad thing. Yeah, like I said, I would have questions about profile-wise, but yeah, I've totally, like, in terms of working with a coach like that who could take Emery is a manager that has got a proven track record of taking players' game up a level. So even if it doesn't necessarily fit the perfect piece in the puzzle in terms of maybe the sort of player that they're asking for, then but you still know that he's going to improve them. And it's an exciting opportunity as a player to work under a coach like that.
Okay then, lads. That's all our transfer rumours. I'm going to throw one onto you here, though, whilst we're ending.
He's gone rogue.
Is it Calvin Bassey to Inter Milan? Because that's what I've been reading.
No, I was going to say, I actually want to hear a shock transfer we're going to see. It can be a little bit out there, guys. Don't worry, that you guys come up with right now. By the end of the January transfer window.
I tell you, it was a bit of a shock. The Rayan to Bournemouth, the young Brazilian.
No. I want you to make up one. Is
one.
what I mean. But fair play, Ryan, to Bournemouth.
Well, I'm very stressed by this rumour that Calvin Bassey might be going to Inter Milan. So, because weirdly, they might be able to buy him if they. Although we really don't have that many centre halves.
Had a very good AFCON, didn't he?
You know what? I'm going to back my friend Ben Bowman. I love the idea of Moise Kane to Fulham. I think that's a lovely little piece of business. Get him out of Fiorentina while you can. He's actually.
I said that.
You said that on Saturday Social. I did see you say that. I'm not going to lie. I was struggling a little bit for Fulham.
Whoa! Where's the credit to me here, Henry?
No, I'm giving it to Ben.
Because
he's my.
You did also say that.
Yeah,
I saw you say it. I was like, you know what? That makes sense. I'm just going to.
Should we manifest this? Moise Keane to Fulham.
Okay.
Here it's coming.
Yeah, we've got to work on our chance a little bit there. You know, one didn't bother.
No, that was more like a
Keane for Fulham.
That was more like an incantation. That was more like a spell. We were making it happen.
Okay, so Moise Keane to Fulham. I'm happy to put the Nothing But Football approval on it. I think without a doubt Chelsea are going to sign someone. Who it is, I don't know. Not a clue. But I think they'll end up signing someone.
Apparently we're looking at Wanyeri as well.
Oh,
Fulham.
Nice.
You know, it took me about 20 seconds there to realise who Nwaneri was. The Arsenal boy. I mean, that'd be a very on loan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he'd actually get that many minutes, but I like it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is he actually going to start over Harry Wilson?
No. That's a transfer that has to happen, by the way. Harry Wilson needs to be given a new contract.
Maybe, but is he playing for the new deal?
Maybe,
that's the thing.
Maybe, but he is on.
Maybe he's doing a salad.
Lightning form.
He is. I'll say, I quite like the idea of Nwaneri to Palace. I also quite like the idea of Oscar Bob to Palace if Gabe was going to go
Oscar Bob to Palace, I think could happen.
On loan.
Yeah.
I think it's still.
Though is he injured at the moment, Bob?
No, I don't know.
Wanyeri to Palace would be so sick because basically everyone in Arsenal supports Crystal Palace as well.
Yeah, good point. Everyone at Palace supports Arsenal, isn't that right, Ollie? I'm gonna chuck one out there. This is a transfer that I suggested for Liverpool the other day on Back Post. Ryan Flamingo, young PSV defender, Dutch, 22 years of age. Versatile, can play at right back, can play at centre half, can play in midfield. Young Dutch defender that can kind of work and benefit alongside from having Van Dijk as his almost mentor. Slot will know a bit about him. He's good on the ball, good in the air. I feel like Liverpool, a younger sort of profile, isn't the worst thing in the world for them. Maybe they need two centre halves, to be honest. So, but Flamingo can play at right back, and obviously they've lost Bradley. Frimpong looks like he does his best work further up the pitch, so I don't think that'd be the worst signing.
Final thing, I reckon Harvey Elliott will go to like a Borussia Dortmund or RB Leipzig or something like that.
He needs
or by Leverkusen. I reckon he'll go to one of the big German.
Which German clubs he linked with in the summer? Was it Leverkusen?
I think it was Leverkusen and Leipzig.
Leipzig, that was it.
Oh, Frankfurt would be a great move for him at this point.
Frankfurt would be a fantastic move for him. Okay, I'm going to go with, finally, for my one. De Ketelaere to Newcastle.
I back the fact that they need to just take the safety off.
Agreed. Boys, thank you so much for joining me today on this week's Nothing But Football. If you guys at home have enjoyed it, then please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. Why not? Just do that, please. That'd be really, really greatly appreciated.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I would love that a lot. Henry Hill, where can I see you?
I think this is crazy that this wasn't nominated for the Golden Globe in the podcast. I'm like, why is it all just the big dogs? They need to look at the real numbers.
They pay for them, don't they? They pay for them. Award shows, you just pay for them.
Can you just follow me on Twitter and Instagram or something like that, please? Because surely more of you like me than follow me.
That was too desperate, Henry. That was too desperate. Please,
because if I don't have more followers, then people don't recognise.
It's about here, Henry. It's about here. This is what you truly affect them. Ben Bowman, if a lot of people at home want to check you out, where can they go?
I mean, I don't really care. Go on TikTok, YouTube if you want. None of you are watching anyway. Please.
Beautiful.
Nice one.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Peace.